In today's presentation, we will have a brief introduction to the concept of narrative research and to the general process of narrative research. So first, let's respond to the question, what is narrative research? This is a particular type of qualitative research, the aim of which is exploring, describing, analyzing, and retelling stories of people's experiences. Generally, narrative research is conducted in order to have in-depth insights into people's experiences and the meanings they attach to those experiences. And so, the exploration, analysis, and interpretation of individual experiences they take place keeping in view the social, cultural, political, and economic contexts of those experiences will be considered as the narrative form of research. So, the focus of exploration in narrative research is actually on the participants' experiences of the roles they have been playing in their lives, or the particular significant events in their lives, or the particular periods of their lives. And so, what are participant experiences related to those particular periods of their lives, or those particular experiences or events in their lives? The role of the researcher is to invite respondents to describe those experiences and to reflect on those experiences that are of interest to the researcher. The researchers then analyze and retell those experiences or the stories in keeping in view their social context. And this is done in order to get into the essences of those experiences. What question also includes the scope of narrative research. So generally, the question is, what are the fields in which we generally conduct narrative researches? Generally, narrative researches are conducted in fields in a variety of social sciences, including sociology, anthropology, psychology, education, sociolinguistics, history, etc. Then narratives could be broader, and those kind of narratives actually encompass life histories, such as biographies or life histories of people, or they are more focused on certain aspects or episodes of experiences, such as, for example, experiences of a particular person or a number of people related to their schools, or related to their jobs, or related to an aspect of their social or political or economic life. So particular experiences, particular periods or aspects of experiences could also be considered exploring through narratives, could also be considered as narrative researches with a more restricted focus. Then what also includes the research paradigm. So generally, narrative researches fall in the research paradigm called interpretivist paradigm or constructivist paradigm, where the interpretivist paradigm of research focuses on the philosophy that social phenomena is open to to interpretation of individuals, and that reality is actually constructed, or rather co-constructed, between the researchers and the participants in the research process. The general research designs in which narrative research falls is the qualitative exploratory research designs. Generally, the samples are small, which varies from one individual, where generally life histories are explored, to a few individuals where the focus is actually on a particular aspect or a particular issue or a particular topic of interest that is explored through the perceptions of those few individuals. And basically the experiences that they have with reference to that particular phenomena are explored. Then the data collection tools in narrative research generally involves in-depth interviews with the participants, but there could be other data collection tools as well, such as document analysis, and these documents might include the diaries or journals of the participants, or maybe their biographies, autobiographies. Some aspects of the narratives could also be explored through observation of the different aspects of the lives or particular episodes of lives of the participants. So observation could also be used as a supplementary data collection tool in narrative research. The data analysis is generally the general qualitative data analysis processes, such as thematic analysis, with a focus on inductive analysis of the data, is employed in narrative researches. Now to the how of it. So what is actually involved in the process of narrative research? Well, generally narrative research begins with the formulation of research objectives and research questions or hypotheses related to an aspect of individual's life, or generally to the lives of individual participants. Then the selection of sample or individuals, which, as I told earlier, could be one individual or could be a few individuals. Generally the number is very small. Then the collection of data, which is eliciting narrative or stories in depth, and analysis of those narratives or that narrative using generally qualitative data analysis techniques such as thematic analysis. This is then followed by the restorying or retelling of the narrative in a chronological order and with reference to its context. So there is the story told by the participants, but then that story is analyzed and retold in a chronological order with reference to its social context by the researcher. This narrative or this narrative or restorying of the narratives is then followed by a discussion on the main findings from those stories or that story, and then this is followed by a conclusion, which is actually a critical, which comes as a result. So what the researcher actually concludes as a result of the primary data plus the critical analysis of the researcher, contextual analysis of the researcher, that leads to the conclusion. And finally, what are the implications from the whole narrative analysis process? This is generally in the report that is written generally towards the end of the whole research process. Here are some readings, for some suggested readings that you can refer to for further enhancing your understanding of the narrative research in social science.